Also, make sure you hit subscribe, click the bell, and smash the like button, stick around. We're talking about trucks. Trucks are awesome. I'm out here in my home area of western Nebraska in a foggy morning, and I've got a cool video to show you today. My friend Jake from the East Coast, like way that way, is a really good truck guy. He has a really good amount of truck knowledge, and he shares with you the story of his journey to getting his new 2016 Ram truck. He had gone through some Fords, had some liminal kind of issues going on with it, and it's a really cool story. I think you guys will really enjoy this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Jake's story, and I'll play that video right now.
Hey there, I'm Jake, and this is my 2016 Ram 1500 Sport. I'm here from Out Motorsports. We're an organization that's focused on sharing the stories of LGBT car enthusiasts and motorsports participants. Yes, that is race car drivers, both on the street and on the racetrack. So if you're interested in following along with race car drivers, rallycross drivers, autocrossers, car enthusiasts, truck enthusiasts, and everything in between, please do head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Now, Tim initially invited me on to talk about this Ram 1500 and why I purchased it compared to a brand new 2020 Ram 1500 with the same options. But before we get into that, I think it's important to understand where I was this time about a year ago, and that is with a 2018 Ford F-150 Lariat. So I said we would start with my 2018 F-150. I kind of lied. We're gonna back up 2 vehicles prior. I've owned a lot of cars and trucks in my life, and 2 vehicles prior to my red 2018 F-150, I was driving a gray 2011 F-150. It was a great truck. I had it for a few years, and I had used it to tow my race car around on an open trailer. I had decided to move from farther out in the Washington, D.C. suburbs to the city of Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside Washington, D.C., across the Potomac River, and has pretty tight parking. So I figured I needed something smaller that could still tow quite a bit of weight, and that came in the answer of a 2010 full-size Range Rover Supercharged. Now, I really love my Range Rover. It was horrible on fuel, but other than that, it was just an excellent vehicle. I felt like I could go anywhere in it, do anything in it, and it was super, super nice at the same time. But my downsizing had a bit of a flaw. When I decided to move closer to the city, that meant giving up my garage for the race car. Now, the race car is a 1997 BMW M3, and it is not street legal in the least. So I decided that the answer was not only the smaller SUV versus the big pickup truck, but an enclosed trailer. So I picked up a full aluminum construction Cargo Pro enclosed trailer, and it was totally the right move to make. I was able to get the car in there, all of my tools, all my spare wheels and tires, all my spare parts. Excellent. I now have a garage on wheels. The Range Rover towed the trailer fine from a weight perspective. It was stable until you got some crosswinds going, and the trailer was just this big sail in the wind, and it kind of got everything moving, and it was really not very stable, so I didn't feel very safe, especially if I was going to start doing some longer drives to racetracks once the season picked back up. So I made the decision to get out of the Range Rover and into another full-size half-ton truck, and I had also just started a new job. And with a new job comes a new salary. And of course I decided that I was worth it, I deserved it, and I went and got myself a brand new 2018 Ford F-150 Lariat with almost every option to make it more like a Platinum. And I'd picked the 5-liter V8 over the 3.5 EcoBoost because I figured it's a more traditional drivetrain, they've got more experience with all this, it will hold up a little bit better in the long run, and that didn't really work out. So let's dive into why I got rid of the Ford after just 18 months and 18,000 miles. So like I said, I picked out the V8 with the F-150 because I figured it was a more traditional drivetrain. I figured it would be easier to deal with, probably fewer problems because there's fewer moving parts. What could go wrong? I don't have 2 turbochargers, much simpler. Well, as it turned out, Ford updated that 5-liter V8 for 2018 alongside the new 10-speed automatic transmission. The V8 received direct injection for the first time, which meant that a bunch of internal parts also got updated or replaced. Now what that means is the V8 is still considered a Coyote V8. It's still an evolution of the old 5-liter that was in the old trucks and Mustangs, but it is somewhat different inside, and that has led to some teething pains. So as I started putting miles on my F-150, I noticed that when the oil was cold, if it had sat overnight, I would get this kind of ratcheting sound when I was leaving my parking spot every morning to go to work. Take a listen, this is what it sounded like. So that's what it sounded like. Obviously I took note. I didn't really think a whole lot of it at first. I was just annoyed because I was paying quite a bit of money every month to have this brand new, really nice truck, and a noise like that is just annoying to hear every morning when you're going to work. A few months go by, and Ford releases a technical service bulletin, which is TSB 18-2354. I took a look at the TSB and it was describing my exact conditions. I felt very validated in my concerns, and I made an appointment and took the truck to my dealership. Figured this would be no big deal. Ford had a TSB, which means this is a problem in some vehicles. It means we've identified a fix, and it means that the fix we've identified should fix the problem. So I took the truck in, they did the fix, which was a little more than a software update to the ECU, and the service advisor straight up told me, hey, this may or may not solve the issue. We're seeing people come back again. And I figured, all right, fine, let's just see what happens. So they did the update, I went home, I let it sit overnight, and sure enough, the next morning it made the same noise. I decided we're gonna pursue this because Ford says there's an issue and their fix doesn't seem to be working. So I called my dealership again, I talked to the service advisor. He said, hey, you can bring it back, we can look at it some more, we can compare it to other trucks on the lot, and they did just that. I was really appreciative of everything that they've been doing so far. And what they came back to me with was an answer that said, the fix was applied, it reduced the noise somewhat, but this noise is a normal operating characteristic of the vehicle. Now here's the thing, I don't buy into that. If the noise was a normal operating characteristic, why are we only finding out about it because of a TSB? The technical service bulletin even says some vehicles. So I decided, all right, let me call Ford corporate. So I called corporate, I got on the line, we started having a conversation, and the gentleman on the phone was really receptive, really good to talk to. And he said, look, you can take it to a second dealer for a second opinion. Until you do that, I can't really help you. So I went back to the dealership where I had purchased the truck initially. They had been great to deal with, so I figured let's talk to them, talk to their service advisor and service manager. Their service manager was really great, and as soon as he realized that I had some technical knowledge, we were able to have a conversation as equals instead of him talking to me as a customer who was not as educated on their vehicle. So we went back and forth on testing and diagnostics and more and more and more, and he finally had a Ford regional rep come out and take a look at the truck. And the rep said, look, this is just considered normal operation of the vehicle. And again, I took it back. The service manager and I were on the same page as far as this is not normal. He understands why I'm not pleased. So I started looking around at what I could do. And some of you are going to say, well, why don't you just sell it? And the answer is simple. The vehicle was a lease. I had leased the truck because I figured brand new vehicle, 3 years, pay 1 monthly fee, have a perfect vehicle that Ford services the whole time I have it, and given I'm looking for reliability while towing long distances, this is perfect. So the issue then becomes I've got this leased vehicle that I'm nowhere near the end of the lease term on. I'm paying a ton of money every month to have it because it's very well equipped, and there's an issue that Ford first acknowledged, couldn't fix, and then suddenly said, oh, it's not a problem anymore. So I turned to the Better Business Bureau. Of course, the Better Business Bureau can help consumers and businesses in so many different ways. And what the BBB has that's outlined in the owner's manual of your Ford truck, as well as many other manufacturers' vehicles, is a program called AutoLine. So the BBB AutoLine program is similar to invoking your state's lemon law, except you're not really dealing with lawyers, you're just dealing directly with the BBB, and the manufacturer pays for all of what's going on. Obviously, there are some limitations to this, so if you're having an issue with your particular vehicle, I'd encourage you to take a look at the BBB AutoLine website and see how things may apply to the claim that you are actually trying to make. My case will not necessarily be what everyone can accept as truth. Now that said, as far as the BBB understanding that my particular case was a problem, I had to meet 3 different criteria. First, I had to have reported the defects to Ford within the first 18 months or 18,000 miles of my ownership of the vehicle. The engine rattle was first reported at 13,000 miles and 10 months of ownership. Number 2, I had to have the same defect subject to repair 4+ times, or have the vehicle out of service for 30 days or more. The vehicle was out of service for 54 days in total, and 49 of those were subject just to this TSB and engine rattle. And number 3, the defect had to substantially impair the use, value, or safety of the vehicle. That's an or statement, not an and, so it had to impact one of the 3. So I said yes, it impacted the value because I have a brand new truck with what sounds like timing chain slap when it's cold. No one wants to hear that if I try to get rid of it. And I said it impaired the use of the vehicle because this is all related to engine internals, and I don't really know how that's going to impact the reliability of it. Well, that's the whole point of having a brand new vehicle versus something pre-owned. If I wanted something that may have a risk here and there, I would just buy a pre-owned vehicle from the start. Now, of course, I'd quickly discovered I was not the only person in the world with this issue. I had been a part of F-150forum.com, which is one of the bigger F-150 and Super Duty truck forums on the internet, and I discovered a whole forum thread with hundreds of replies discussing just this technical service bulletin. So I started sharing my stories as well, in maybe the hopes that we'd all get together in some sort of solidarity and find some fix that Ford hadn't discovered. Now, naturally, no one got very far, whether it was people on the forums dealing with things themselves or people working with Ford like I was. It just wasn't going very far with technicians, with management, with regional reps, with anybody. A few people tried to open up lemon law cases. I think I was the first one to go through the BBB auto line. The issue itself was traced back to the camshaft timing solenoids. All that we knew at this point was the camshaft timing solenoids were making some noise, and it was related to cold oil temperature. The next question is, why did I still pursue this claim? And this comes down to more of a matter of principle for me. I still really appreciate Ford. I really like a lot of their products. I am not in any way saying I would never buy a Ford again. However, in this particular case, we had an issue where a problem was identified, a solution was implemented, the solution didn't actually fix the problem, and then when it came time to talk about how that didn't fix it and what our next steps would be, I was told, oh, no, it's not a problem. They all do that. Well, if they all did it, why is there a technical service bulletin? Why are you trying to fix it? So it came across very much as a moment of, hey, we don't really know what we're gonna do, so just sit tight and we'll take care of it when we take care of it. And that really wasn't working for me, so I decided to pursue everything that I had the legal right to pursue with the BBB, and the arbitrator sided with me. So Ford offered a full repurchase of the vehicle. They paid me back for all of my lease payments minus a usage fee, which basically correlated to the miles I'd put on the truck, and that was that. And it was time to go truck shopping. So then the question is what to buy next. Ford had repurchased the F-150. I was driving a 2001 BMW X5 that I had purchased for the sake of a cheap car challenge with some friends. That's over on the Out Motorsports YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that out. I didn't really know what to do. Obviously, I liked the brand new trucks quite a bit, the Ram 1500 in particular. It was really tempting to just go to the dealership, pick out a brand new Ram 1500 Laramie Sport Package in Blue Streak Pearl or Delmonico Red, and off we go. The issue is that I only drive about 8,000 miles a year, and I was really grappling with the idea of paying new truck money when I don't really drive the truck that often. Some people really find the value in that, but clearly I didn't have the best brand new truck experience, so I figured, hey, why not save some money and go pre-owned? So like I said, this is a 2016 Ram 1500 Sport. It has all the different luxury touches that they offered as options on the Sport for this model year, so it's more or less like buying a brand new Laramie with Sport trim. So you've got heated and cooled leather seats, you've got Uconnect with navigation, you've got a heated steering wheel, you've got the four-corner air suspension, and of course you've got the Hemi 5.7 liter powering the whole thing. The question is, how's it been so far? Living in the DC metro area, I don't really need to drive it every single day. I have access to the metro and to buses and to plenty of bike lanes, so I'm a big fan of not driving unless I actually have to. And that means I've only put about 6,000 miles on this since picking it up in August of last year. And just like the F-150, it has not been all roses. I did have a brief issue with the transmission in this where it was kind of acting funny when it was super cold, going into reverse. That led to a transmission replacement with just 45,000 miles on the whole vehicle. I was able to pick this up certified pre-owned, and the Mopar CPO warranty is actually quite good. Other than the transmission issue, which FCA took care of right away with very good service, I have nothing to complain about. It's been an excellent truck, and truthfully, I think it's a great alternative for people who are really looking at the brand new Rams but can't stomach new truck money, but want similar options with just a little bit less refinement. This is not as nice as the new Rams are. The new ones feel much more luxurious inside, and this has many of the same features added to it as the brand new Rams do, but the overall package doesn't quite feel so luxurious and so refined. The new Rams really feel refined. The phrase that I kind of like to use with this truck is it's refined, but it's also a little rowdy around the edges. For me, I think that's perfect. For some people that are looking for, new feeling vehicle, the new Rams are really where it's at. That's how I got to this 2016 Ram 1500, which started with a 2011 Ford F-150 and then out of nowhere, a Range Rover. Thanks so much to all of you for watching, and thanks to Tim for having me on the channel today. Take care.
So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. I watched the whole thing start to finish. I couldn't get enough of the knowledge he had on that truck. And I thought it was really interesting when he shared transmission issues on the Ram and the issues that he had with the Ford, and deep diving into really finding out what that issue was. So again, go ahead and check him out over on his channel. I'll put the link description below, and also pin a comment or something down below in the comments. If you have an interesting truck story, you just want to share your story, hit me up. Tim at pickuptrucktalk.com. You can also find us on pickuptrucktalk.com as well, like I said. Well, kind of dual thing there. Also, Pickup Truck Talk on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find us there. I do funny photos, funny memes, and we have a good time. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.